Howdy and welcome to the Mr. Maple Show, y'all. Today we're bringing you a top 5, but not just a top 5 with one of our employees, Liz. Guys, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check us out on your favorite podcast platform. We are everywhere: YouTube, podcast, and MrMaple.com, where we add 10 new trees every single Tuesday and Thursday. Guys, there's actually 20 every Tuesday and Thursday, making a total of 40 trees each week on MrMaple.com that get listed. And that's not even counting the limited release. So we got a lot of cool stuff happening on Mr. Maple always. So check us out and join the Maple Mafia. Go find us on Mr. Maple Friends on Facebook. We got a great Maple Mafia group there and a lot of people in the live chat here on YouTube. Liz, how long have you been working here at Mr. Maple?
About a year coming up.
So what's the typical day look for you?
Typical day is a lot of different things. We all wear a bunch of different hats. It varies from potting to cleaning up some trees, taking care of different things around the nursery, and getting people's orders ready to ship out.
Wearing a lot of different hats today. You're wearing the Midwest Princess hat.
I am.
Liz is awesome. She helps with shipping. She helps go around and make sure that all everyone's orders right, helping find orders from potting to anything we need done here at the Mr. Maple. I think right now you're going around and tagging XL 1 gallons to get listed on MrMaple.com really soon.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those happening really soon on Mr. Maple. A lot of XL 1 gallons, that's 1 gallons that are extra large, really about the size to be pot up to a 3 gallon, about to get listed on Mr. Maple. She's getting all that list together for us. So what's your favorite thing about working here at Mr. Maple?
My favorite thing about working here would really be the family environment that you and Matt have cultivated. They've done a really good job making sure we all have each other's backs, and it's a really good place to work. I feel like I'm one of the lucky people who gets up in the morning and is excited to go to work and excited to see everyone's faces. We have a good group going here.
Liz is just awesome all the way around. We love having her here. Tell us a little bit about some of your side work that you do on the side sometimes.
Yeah, I work with the Food Policy Council for our local city and county, and then I also studied agriculture in school, so I do some community gardens and landscaping, organic and edible landscaping.
What did I tell y'all? Liz is awesome all the way around. So we're going to get into Liz's top 5 Japanese maple. She's been working here a year at Mr. Maple, so she's seen quite a bit. That's each and every day she's walking through these greenhouses. So guys, we're going to start off with your number 5 Japanese maple.
Number 5. It's hard to pick 5, but for number 5, I went with the Singo Kaku. I went with this one because that coral bark just stands out to you. And in the winter time, it's really, you don't see a bunch of color in the winter, but there's something about driving through and seeing that coral bark out there in people's lawns and in the nursery. It's really nice, a spark of color when everything's kind of just dreary.
Yeah, the original coral bark Singo Kaku, the name means coral towers, gives that additional winter interest. During those winter months when you're walking through these greenhouses, you see a lot of tags, and then you see, boom, coral bark with Singo Kaku. So it gives that additional winter interest. You can do that in your landscape too. One tip I really like with Singo Kaku is give it a backdrop. Give it an evergreen backdrop or a house backdrop with a dark coloration, and that'll allow you to really peak showing off the winter interest on Singo Kaku, because that coral bark really needs a good background to really show off its coral bark. But it's one of the best fall color Japanese maples too. Give me some really nice shades of yellow with hints of orange into it. Underrated for its fall color. People always talk about the winter interest, but it's an amazing tree all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's your number 4 Japanese maple?
Number 4, I went with the first Japanese maple that ever caught my eye, zuru. I really loved the variegation on that one. It's a popular one. It's very beautiful. The white variegation is amazing, and the dark green is really good. It's a good contrast on the leaves.
Yeah, zuru is an awesome Japanese maple. It's a more rare variegated Japanese maple. Many of y'all may think about that Origino Nishiki style variegation. Zuru is kind of like that with a little more serrated edges. Gives a little bit of a purple border in the early spring and gets splashes of pink and white splotched variegation across the foliage. For me, it's a rock star. It puts on a lot of variegation and keeps putting it on. In the summer months is really when a lot of those Origino Nishiki styles, Zuru styles, begin to really show extra variegation, because the first flush of variegation is nice in the spring. But in the summer months, when you see that secondary flush coming out, typically for us in about mid-June, that's when that tree really begins to shine, because you get just exploding variegation, almost like firecrackers, all across the tree. And sometimes that second flush of variegation can be so pink and so white, there's very little green on there, making just a dynamic display.
Yeah, it's beautiful for sure.
So what's your number 3 Japanese maple?
Number 3 would be a conifolium. Yeah.
A Conifolium or Makujaku,
Yeah,
the dancing
exactly.
peacock.
Dancing peacock, absolutely. I remember that was another one that really first caught my eye when I first started, and just that leaf shape just being so different and really standing out to me in the fall colors on that too.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it gets that name of dancing peacock, is because the leaf shape is the shape of a peacock displaying its feathers. And when the fall hits, it really looks like a peacock.
Yeah.
Because you get the yellows, the oranges, and the reds on the leaf at the same time. And it's an Acer japonicum, so everything is bigger in the Acer japonicums. That's the leaves, some nice thick branching, the seeds, but also the flowers in the early spring. So if you see a mature specimen of Makujaku or Aconifolium out in the landscape, you see large red tassel flowers hanging down from the green leaves. It's so large, it adds a dynamic display. It's almost like you've got a blooming Japanese maple out there in the garden, because you can really appreciate those blooms as well as the leaves. And that's something we don't think about with Japanese maples typically. Most Acer palmatum varieties have really small blooms and you don't really notice it. But with an Acer japonicum, everything's bigger, everything, I don't want to say everything's better, but it kind of is.
It kind of is, yeah. It's a good one.
So what's your number 2 Japanese maple?
Number 2 is Waco Nishiki, that trident leaf. That also really stuck out to me and has continued to. Those are really cool.
You're getting a good assortment going on through here. You got coral bark, a pink and white variegated, a full moon, and now an all-white trident maple.
What can I say? They're all good. It's hard to pick. Yeah, you gotta take from all the different varieties. We have so many.
Yeah, you see Waco Nishiki in the early spring, and it's pure white. And one of the reasons I love Waco Nishiki is because something like Ukigumo is white once every 3 years. And it's a very beautiful tree in the years it doesn't. But if you're looking for white consistently each and every year, something like Waco Nishiki gives you that each and every spring. And then during the summer months, it goes green to protect the tree, gets chlorophyll in the leaf so it can handle that high heat that comes on during the summer. And so you get that white every year in that springtime, and it's a pure white. I mean, it's one of the whitest Japanese maples that you can get with Waco Nishiki. The fall color on Waco Nishiki can really give you some really nice shades of bright red. And so all throughout the season, you've got a changing tree with changing colors. And that springtime, though, when you just see that tree leaf out, for the first month and a half, you get that pure white. I mean, there's nothing else quite like it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So we're down to your number 1 Japanese maple.
Number one, honestly, it was actually really easy. This is a tree I'm so excited. I tell everyone to get this tree. Every time we have an open house, I take people to this tree if we have it. It's Kumo Nishi. That is a beautiful tree. I love the leaf shape. I love the fall colors. There's so much about that tree. It's amazing.
Yeah, it has almost that full moon-like leaf, being an Acer subuldianum. And then it's got pink and white splotched variegation on it. And that is amazing in itself, but when the fall hits, you get yellows infused with oranges and reds.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And you see the variegation in there, and yellow and red variegation all in. I mean, it is outrageous in its colors.
It is.
I remember the first time I saw that tree, I was at Edshin, NJ Acer's garden in New Jersey, Wall, New Jersey. And a guy had just brought it back from Japan. And my mind was just exploding. I was like, what do I have to do to get a 3-gallon of this? Because he had a few 3 gallons for sale. And I ended up getting one from him. And man, I was so excited. I was so excited because it was one of the coolest plants. And then a few years later, we went to Japan. And we went to Kobayashi Momijien, who introduced Tamukiyama, Ryusen, some of the coolest trees in the trade. And I said, these plants are amazing. And he showed us some amazing plants. And I said, what's one of your coolest new neatest things? And he brought out Kumo Nishi. And he was like, check this out. It's a variegated subuldianum. And I was like, all right, yeah, I've got that. It's dope. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's just one of those trees. There's nothing else quite like it, with that full moon leaf and that unique swirling variegation.
Yeah.
So I see you've got 3 variegated trees on your top 5 list. So I know you like a lot of flash, a lot of flare. What's something that people don't know about you?
Oh, wow.
You got any fun hobbies?
I mean, I like to kayak on the weekends, you know, stuff like that. I mean, I love gardening, and I make medicinal herb tinctures and salves and stuff like that. I really love listening to the landscape and listening to our native plants and how they can be involved in healing. Like, we have plantain and so many things that are edible and medicinal, and we walk around them every single day and don't think about it until we like really research and study and put it all together.
So we've got someone here who really loves gardening, y'all. What do y'all think about her top 5 Japanese maples? Give us some shout outs in the comments. Tell us what you think of her top 5 Japanese maples. Thanks so much for jumping in today.
Of course.
Y'all take care, God bless, and have a great day.
Bye, guys.